Hello, welcome back to my channel, Antoinette here. I thought it's best to get through parts 44 and 45 of Total Tarot. This is the episode that comes with the Tarot of the New Vision. So I've opened it, unpolythened it and popped it in the box. So we'll do a flip through of that later. I have to be honest, I'm really late with this because one, I've been dealing with the spread that I've recently launched on my channel, the hashtag Bewitched seasonal spread. So if you want to see what that spread is about, go and try it for yourselves. If you run through my recent videos, you'll find it there. And there's a downloadable free PDF for you to try the spread. But also because I was so uninspired by having another coloration, iteration version of bordering on the RWS. And that was my own personal grievance and something I had to get over. In fact, so much so that I put the deck away, basically. I just threw the deck in the cupboard. I didn't bother looking at it or dealing with it because I was having a little moment and chucking my toys out of the pram. How rude of me. So I've now just kind of thought, yeah, let's just get it out and get it done and see if I can actually find something in this deck that's appreciative. My personal thoughts, because I know lots of people are actually, they love this deck, so I don't know why I've got such an aversion to it. But here we go, parts 44. So just dive straight in to the magazine. So it's talking about modifying spreads here, or part 2 of modifying spreads. So further useful techniques for altering pre-existing spread layouts to enhance tarot readings. And one of the things about intuitively modifying spread layouts might be that you move the cards around because they don't quite make sense in the order that they're laid out, but you feel like the cards are correct. So you move them around to rearrange and recreate sentences. So you can adapt. Here we go. Adapting mid-reading. During a reading, a querent or reader sometimes wants to study an issue in greater depth and becomes curious. I think that's just cut my finger. And becomes curious about other avenues, and that's another way of doing it. Yep. So then you might lay extra cards to follow that on. It's using the Tower of the White Cats as an example here. What are we doing? Avoiding pitfalls, transitions. The Six of Swords is all about the journey, making changes and seeking out. Yeah, okay. So learning to modify favourite spreads. Pick a spread that you particularly like. How could you improve it by adding other positions? How could you simplify it by removing some of them? So e.g. the Celtic Cross. Do you need all those cards in the Celtic Cross, or can you just deal with basic kind of mid-cross section and perhaps one or two either side, or the 4 above it, which is calling the wheel here? Do you need this? Just, thoughts. I've seen people work with, I've personally worked with just this. I've seen people work with this and this. And I see people eliminate this all the time. But they may have modified the questions in which they're using the positions of this spread. We're looking at the 8 of Pentacles in detail. So create to live and live to create. Gratifying endeavours. Good words for the 8 of Pentacles. And it's about work and habits in the main forefront. We have the thematics with the personal life, divination and psyche and soul. From a meditation perspective, I live my purpose. That's quite a nice one to have for meditation. And we have the my favourites down the bottom, the overviews about the cards. We have got the worth continuing up here. We have the angels and the Klimt. The upside down kind of traditional reverse meanings of the 8 of coins. Lack of ambition, vanity and greed, cunning behaviour, trying to pass someone else's work off as your own, not taking pride in your work. Naughty, naughty. We have some correlations here with the Separate Hod, the element being earth, the planet is sun, sign is Virgo for the 8 of Pentacles, and the esoteric name is Lord of Prudence. We have some lessons, some journaling prompts and questions there for ourselves. So let's take a look down the bottom because this is my favourite part. You have to excuse me, I am yawning like a right trooper today. So we have the Lo Scarabeo deck, and this one is talking about conscious effort. I love the way it comes out with the flowers and things. It's got a very Thoth-like feel there, actually, that 8 of Pentacles. With our pagan tarot, we have magical helpings from this person. There's not even a coin in sight from what I can see on that card, so that's a very interesting card. The Fae Tarot, we have a work of art, and this one's coming in parts 54 and 55. The Runic Tarot, parts 48 and 49, so that's coming soon. Celebrating achievements here with this one. Shaman Tarot, 60 and 61, represents an extended endeavour. Oops. We have the Dark Grimoire, expressing your inner fears. The Tarot of 78 Doors, commitment to hard work. That's quite a good one, actually. And Nefertiti's Tarot, reaping rewards. New Vision spread. That's quite a cool looking spread, actually, isn't it? So we've got here 5 cards. Major Arcana. Consider a situation. New light and pinpoint various possible solutions that the querent can adapt. Layout, okay. Preparing and positioning of the cards. So querent, reading for yourself, shuffle the pack, cut the deck, lay out the spread, starting with the card at the bottom, obviously, so lay them out in numerical order. Starts interpreting the arcana in the different positions, keeping the respective meaning in mind. After interpreting the cards, sum up the entire reading. Okay. So card 1 is root of the problem, card 2 is the obstacle, cards 3, 4 and 5 are possible courses of action. So I guess you'd have to extend on each possible course of action, because if they're not coming together, possible courses of action. So they all represent possible solutions. They can be seen as branches fanning out from a number 2 card, and each one suggests a possible course of action, regardless of the meaning of each individual card. Okay, so you'd need to kind of examine each course of action, wouldn't you? Contextualization, position and meaning. Right. I think we're still in view with you. We have the tarot deck library for the New Visions. Talking about the creative team, writers responsible for the tarot of the New Visions are Giordano Berti and Tibero Gonard. Italian artists Raul and Gianluca Sestaro, who are twin brothers and were chosen to illustrate the deck thanks to their use of modern effective colours and clean lines. Okay. I can write that into my lid. Unlike a traditional deck, the cards of the New Vision Tarot offer a different and unexpected perspective from behind the main character. So that is interesting-ish. So we have some more information here about tarot, unlocking the deck, reading the symbols. We have our minor arcana meanings here. So let's just go for the kind of classics. 7 of Wands, courage, challenge, have more self-confidence, intense negotiating or tough competition in business or love. Oh, that's interesting. Let's try 5 of Swords. Dissolution, loss, take measures to avoid losing wealth. Be careful of ineffective treatment or legal action. That's quite a different take on the 5 of Swords, isn't it? 10 of Cups, let's take a look. Harmony on the family, a time of satisfaction in every field. Your good reputation will be useful in many situations. At least that one's kept its happy meanings. And then we have the coloured thematics for the cards. And then we're into the next book. Have I done these the wrong way around? 45, 44, no. Comparative readings. Sorry, I just saw the big number 1 there. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And we have the Fairy Tarot here. So similarities and differences. How the cards are alike. Similarities between cards tend to enhance, reinforce and assign meaning. To what extent do the cards seem to be thematically related? Are the titles the same? Now this, I will agree with, actually. So you can put a reading down and you'll have different sets of cards, but you may actually still come to a very similar conclusion of the reading. I've seen that done by a couple of people on some live lessons that I've been on, where they put them down, like experienced readers, and they put them down and they've still kind of come to the same outcome for the reading, although the nuances of the reading were slightly different. So the elements that got given to the reading from the information in the minor cards changed the story slightly, but the outcome, the basic story, was the same. So I have found that's quite interesting, but although all the cards carry their own meanings, you can get like a very similar outcome. What have we got here? Something called the Epic Tarot coming up in the collection. Okie dokie. Stages of reading. The reader approaches the tarot reading in the conventional way. The reader recreates the same spread, card by card, by using equivalent cards. Yeah. How to compare cards. The easiest way to do this is, and we'll do it in a minute, benefits collector's choice. So yeah, we're drawn to our own decks effectively, aren't we? What deck is this? Is this the Epic Tarot? Is this all the Epic Tarot? No, that's not. What's this one? The Fae Tarot. This is the Epic Tarot. And the High Priestess from the Harmonious, isn't it, Tarot? So yeah, they all differ very much. They're all the same card, are they? 3 stars. The stars card from the Fae Tarot. No, that's a 2. 2. Oh, High Priestess. Oh my dear. Yeah. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. We're moving on before I say anything else daft while you were watching the screen. Luxury is the eye of the beholder. Wealth of the heart. Yeah. I do say when this card comes up, it's nice to just take a seat, relax with your favourite beverage of whatever sorts, a book, a blanket, whatever, snuggle, and just enjoy what you have around you in that moment, and just be really present and enjoy what you have, and take time to do that. What have we got? So quite like that card there from the Worth, with the elements and everything going on inside it. Traditional meanings reversed, possible loss of home or friendship, not being happy with what you have, projects out. Okay, down the bottom here we have the prayer for the Neferatu for the 9. Here we have the Pagan Tarot, which this card is talking about taking a well-deserved break, so much like I was just saying. Here in the Lo Scarabeo, it talks of accomplishment. Yeah, very similar. The After Tarot, material comforts. The John Bower, cultivating success. And then we have the Dark Grimoire, a difficult to reach but worthy place for the 9 of Pentacles. That's a very, very different looking card, isn't it, here? Then we have the Shaman Tarot, invisible richness, and the Deck of the Fae, living in opulence. So this one, and what I was saying, and kind of these ones, all taking in on the same thing. One person's wealth compared to another is very different. We can't compare unless we're going to compare financial ability to spend, and that is very different to what we see as actual wealth in terms of how comfortable we are, how happy we are, where is our health, where is our vitality, where is our family at, tangible things. You can live a minimalist life with 20 items of clothing and maybe 1 cup, plate, saucer, bowl, whatever, but you can still live that life thoroughly fulfilled and enjoying what you have without being surrounded by all the other trinkets that maybe I might need to have around me, because it just makes me feel kind of like snuggled in and cozy, weirdly, but I know where that comes from for me. So we have the tarot spreads for the new vision. So here we have a breakdown of the spread that we were looking at in the first book. And this is all majors, so kind of a big hitting reading. Sometimes I agree with all major readings and other times I don't, but I think that sometimes, if you want to explore these, you're going to need your minor cards to do that with, personally. Different interpretations of a different position. The obstacle as a barrier. Most obvious meaning for the arcana represents the barrier that must be broken down, a problem that must be solved, a difficulty. The obstacle as a threshold. Then we have the obstacle as a necessity, the obstacle as a choice, the obstacle as an adjustment, and the obstacle as an alteration of perception. Okay. Magic and manifestation. Yeah, I think I said that. I love that full card. That was from the Silvercraft Silver Witchcraft Tarot, which came in the last 2 episodes. So this is talking about magic and manifestation, and I think that's one of the reasons this deck exists, but I would be interested to see what the whole kind of guidebook says that comes with that one. Here we have, so Levi continues to link his theories about tarot to the wide range of disciplines. So Alpheus Levi, part 2, is this Tarot of the Forefathers, number 8, and how the French scholar and where the tarot are contained in his first book, most important esoteric book, 2 volumes of the dogma and ritual of the high magic. This is his work. He suggests that the meanings of the arcana were connected to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. I think he may be one of the first people who actually linked that connection, but it didn't actually exist as a written or spoken theory until he decided that they fitted, and that made it so. And then so began that Book of Thoth, the deck that he created, the Book of Thoth, and then later recreated to become the Thoth deck by Crowley. So it's interesting how that side of tarot has evolved. We have the New Visions. So here we have all of the suits. And we have the Manga Tarot coming next. Okay. So let's take a look at this deck that's caused me so much adverse reaction. I didn't even want to, have it in my sight and put it on a shelf. So here's the box, Tarot of New Vision. I think I'm probably being like totally childish with this, but we'll see. So it is the normal cardstock. This one does have a strong smell, but it will fade over time once it's been aired. And you can always chuck a incense stick in the box because they're big enough to hold an incense stick, and it'll make your deck smell lovely. So here are the backs. So they are reversible. There's the Knight of Cups on there by the looks of it. Just gave you a show of what was there, didn't I? Oops. Now, I thought, because it's talking about this, looking at it from a different perspective, okay, from behind the cards, I thought, you know what would be a good set of cards to run next to this? I thought we'd take the ViceVersa Tarot. To see just how different they've made it. So I haven't used this one, and I must say this one's actually picked up quite a bow in my garage on my shelf. So probably needs a weighted book on it. Now, I don't know what order all this is in, so we're just going to have to run through and see. So if we take this one off, bring you down. What I'm going to try and do, if this works, because I wasn't sure what was front and back. So obviously these are the 2 that's come with the magazine, and this is my actual ViceVersa that comes in the kit with the book. This book tells me about the deck's this and that way up cards, and I have to be honest, I wasn't sure which way round most of these cards went, so I don't know if some of them are upside down and some the right way up. I think I was trying to do it that this would be the right way up and this one would be the upside down deck, but it's not quite. Hang on, let me put you on hold 1 second. Okay, so I've just flipped this whole deck around. So this is the front of the ViceVersa, this is the back of the ViceVersa. Here's our New Vision Tarot, which apparently is a new vision, but we already have this vision here. So let's have a look. I think this is by different artists as well, so I don't even think it's the same. Artwork by David Corsi. Yeah, so, right, anyway. Let's just get in there and go for it. See what you think. So this is very standard RWS yellow coloration. Different, but already there's kind of that. You can see what's going on, except for we have got some extras in the picture here. So. The monkey is a new addition. And there are some differences to how they've been depicted. So Kind of like the addition of the owl. We've got people praying behind. That's very interesting. Whereas here we've got the cups of the 2 pillars burning. Perhaps a bit more family orientated. A bit different, isn't it? A very similar take, this one to this one, isn't it? Interesting with the apples there, but anyway, it's not the deck we're talking about, is it? So here's our lovers. So we've got kind of like, I suppose it's meant to be little flames of fire there. So we've got a fire. Chariot, very different. People following on behind. Nothing on behind here. That's a new addition there. I always find that one really interesting. Finding your resolve. Oh, what have I? Yeah, you can tell I've tried to put something in order in a hurry. Okay. It's interesting here. We have the snake coming to bite him on the ankle. There's our world. Just again, very traditional, just the backside of what we normally see, I suppose. There's our justice. Oh, now are they fighting over? It's hard to tell what's going on there, isn't it? So our hanged one. So he's tied to a tree. Of course, in this one they're not, but that's normally we are tied to a single. And we have our death card. Temperance. Our devil. That's interesting, isn't it, with the kind of gargoyles looking down on them. Our towers, very traditional looking. Star. That's different. And the moon. We actually have a person coming out of the water, a male, by the looks of it, in armour. That's an unusual take. We do have our crawfish coming out, and what looks like it's almost like a bridge of birds between the 2 pillars. Here we have our sun, temperance. We do have some other extras here, don't we? Going like the birds going up and down. Here's our world card. Our chalices. Again, another really traditional one. We don't normally see the kids playing in the water there. So, because this is meant to be the perspective from behind, because that's why we're looking at the lion there from behind. And here we have behind. This is obviously what's going on in front. Sorry if I didn't explain that very well. She should be that way around. So offering up, celebrating with friends. Still very traditional to what we normally see. Here we have the 4. And again, we don't often see the bird. That's a very big bird. The horse flying in, do we? They have quite a traditional take in the way that they are depicted here. Then we have this one. With the kind of grandparent expectation there in the background. Now, somebody said that this is meant to be actually husband and wife or something, whereas I always thought it was brother, sister, or elder boy, younger girl. I never put them as equal ages. I always saw them as sort of sibling, cousin, school kind of age group here, you know, handing down, passing on. I never saw it as a romantic kind of thing, as you see there. Here are all our choices. He's being watched and egged on from behind. Yeah, so we have a shooting star here and we're walking away with the fireworks going on in the background. The 9 of chalices. So we are behind the big table where the man sits with his polished brass proudly on show behind him. Has he been as hardworking as he claims, or has he let them do all the hard work? Here we have 10 of chalices. Page of cups. Can't quite work out what they all are there, but it's not fish. We have our Knight of Cups and our Queen of Cups. She's still got a dirty, great big cup in her hand, look. And our King. Somehow his throne seems more comfortable than this one. But look at that. It's like Noah's Ark up on the green. Here's our ace. Our 2. The 3. So he's obviously traditional. He's got the 1 on his head. He's holding 1. He's got 2 obviously underneath his feet. Here we have our 5 of Pentacles. So this is outside, this is inside the other side of this glass window, and this is the other perspective of this. So now that this person's inside, or is this the person inside having the same problems as the person outside? Hard to tell, isn't it? Depending on which side of the window you're on. Here's our 6. Our 7. Flying high above. And our 8. 9. I like it with the dog. So this looks like we've got an actual conversation going on. We do have somebody, are they in a bed or on a chair with a blanket? There's definitely a big blanket there, isn't there? Fabric draped. Page of Pentacles. There's our Knight. Queens. She's got some nice ornate engravings there. And our King, again, he's got great engravings on the back of his chair, so you'd know whose chair's who's from behind. And we're into our wands. So Julia on Highly Sensitive Tarot has done like a lineup of this deck with the other RWSs. So that's why I haven't done that with this, because you can go there and have a look at that one if you want to see how it compares with the before tarot, after tarot, and RWS. Nothing worse than getting to this point and discovering you forgot to put record on your camera. So hopefully we're still going. See, I like the introduction of something else in this card, because it kind of makes, it's like, what does that actually mean? Every Eight of Wands, it seems like no one has been able to depict this Eight of Wands in any better way, shape or form, and it always comes out like this in so many cards now that you just kind of look at it and it's like, it's just a pip card. It has no meaning. Here's our nines. Your 10. This is the page, yep. She's a lot more organic, the Queen of Wands in this deck to this one maybe, but you can still get that like, kind of like earthy essence, can't you? But it's very different. It's like the messy earthy essence. It's almost like chaos versus the Pentacles Queen, or King of Wands. I like that on the back of the throne there. Ace of Swords. No, is that our page? Knight in the background? Is this what, becoming that person? Interesting concept. These are twos. Again, we have another horse. 3. The 4. So less traditional, more traditional. We do have people bowing. This one gives more of the essence of death there, doesn't it? That's got that more like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, glass coffin, death, kiss of death type feeling to it. Whereas here, it's hard to tell. Is this person just having a really hard sleep because, that's gone on in the background and they've been a part of that, and they're now having to rest because, this is finished. They having to take a rest before they go, so there's that element here, whereas this one has more of that kind of death feel to it than normally it does. Normally I would say like rest and relax. Here's our 5s. Might have been the wrong way around, I can't remember. And our 6. So yes, we can actually see their faces coming towards us, and here we can see them. Although I feel like this one's going in the wrong direction. But we are looking at what's behind, so I don't know. So we're looking at what they're coming away from, maybe. What they're being led away from. But there's nothing really going on in the background. Here's our 7. That's interesting. So we have a skull left behind there behind the rock. So what is he actually picking up, right? Is he actually picking up spare swords from fallen people rather than where everyone's like, oh, he's stealing? Our 8. So where eagles fly. Here's our 9. Oh, yeah. Your nighttime demons coming in. 10 again. Somebody there in the back. Whereas here he's out of his armour. So he's actually okay. But the person he's leaving behind is his old self, his old shell. So here's our page. The knight. Okay. So it's that way around, the knight. Our Queen. Far more androgynous. I think I'm right. Yeah, Queen. Just looking at the symbol there. Our Queen. Just noticed that there's no crown on the back of these ones. So they've all got their symbols on. And here's our King, finishing us up. Oh, that's kind of curious. There's a baby in the background. And two people. So that has more of a judicial kind of feeling to it as well, doesn't it? It has that kind of sword is mightier type feeling. Say choices, but there's one behind him, one in his hand. And then we've got what looks like a female figure and a male figure there. So perhaps mother, father, baby. Who knows what that conversation ensues right there. So there you go. That is the tarot of the New Visions. I hope you enjoyed that, and I haven't put you off with my kind of mindless berating of my own personal experience and opinion. And I mean, yes, some of those cards have surprised me. Will I use this deck? I really don't know, is the honest opinion. Verdict's still out, but then there are a few decks in this collection that I don't use because I'm collecting it for the other reasons and the fact that I get the rest of that deck. So take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.